For this tutorial, we're going to look at how we can add some music to your movie. Music makes a huge difference in any project. It really makes it more interesting and more engaging. And for some of our projects, we can really use it to set the tone and the mood, and we'll try to make it a more interesting video. So to do that, you need to first find a song, and we'll be using free play music for that. If you've never been there before, you should be able to get there by going to Mr. Fugi Technology, and then I believe it's one of the links on the side, free play music. You can search by style or feel, and if you need more help with that, I think we've got a tutorial on how to look for music. For now, we'll say I already found a song and I saved it to my computer. We need to add media, just like with the videos. So we'll go to Files and Folder, and we'll need to go to Libraries and Music, and then you hopefully should see your song in there. You need to make sure you pay attention to where it gets saved. For this one, I'm going to use the Atomica song that I got from Free Play Music. Hit Open, and now it's still not in my movie, it's just in my project assets. To add it to the movie, I need to drag it and set it on the timeline. Again, you can click on this little button and actually see. If you have just the line, that's really not as useful. I like to actually see where the beat is. You can see this one starts out kind of quiet and then gets louder. If I press play right now, we're going to see that it's okay at the beginning, but as soon as it gets to this point, it's really too loud. It's hard to hear my talking. So if we press play, and then it starts playing. So this is where you would start talking about your movie, either reading. At the beginning you could hear me talking okay, but once the music picked up, it really was hard to hear. So that's where you can adjust the audio up and down by just dragging this line. Again, the dBs, that's decibels. So if we leave it at 0, it's going to be the same. We can make it louder by going up or quieter by going down. And another thing that you can do that we haven't really talked about, if you pull the slider to a certain place in the audio or in your project, you can add what's called a keyframe. And by adding a keyframe, we should be then able to adjust the audio. And once you have more than one keyframe, so if I add one more at the beginning here, we can then start adjusting the audio independently. So as I pull this down, it will keep it the same at the beginning. Looks like we may need actually one more. So let's put another keyframe on the other side here. And now I can actually turn the volume down at this point so it's not as loud. It's going to stay the same volume at the beginning and then drop down when it gets to this point. So we'll try playing that again and see if it's much different. This is where you would start talking about your movie, either reading, and you can see I turned it too far down. You can't even really hear it. So we'll bring that back up a little bit and try that one more time. Start talking about your movie, either reading or... And that's getting close. I'm really picky about the audio because if we can't hear what's being said, then there's no point in having the talking there. And the talking is a huge part of the video project. So I'd probably try lowering it down just a little bit more. And we'll see one more time what that sounds like. Start talking about your movie, either reading your script or explaining, say, this is, and I like the way that's sounding. The music, again, really helpful. It's nice if you can find a song that has a pretty steady volume that doesn't go up and down too much, because that will make your editing a little bit easier. So one other thing that can be really nice on your audio is doing fades, where you can fade in or fade out. So you can do that pretty easily by just right-clicking on the audio and go to fade. And you can fade in or fade out. A fade out is going to make it get quieter at the end, or a fade in is going to start really quiet and then bring back up the volume. So you can just go to fade out audio, and you can actually see right here this little line. If I zoom in on this, you see that it quiets it down. You may even want to pull it all the way down. I think that is all the way down to basically nothing. So if we play this now at the end, when it gets to this point, it should drop down. And it kind of does a fade out. If I wanted to kind of make that happen a little bit over more time, I could stretch this back and press play again. And you hear it kind of quiet down at the end. So that is one other tool that can be really helpful for editing your volume.